they decide Carson's a good option, then it's a wash for us, but it's an improvement for them, and so that's something to consider too.
Dr. Stegeman?
Ms. Burns?
I'd like to ask the maker of the motion if I could make a friendly amendment to include changing the Dunham boundaries to 22nd on the north, Houghton on the east, Irvington on the south, and Harrison on the west, and also moving the Wheeler Annex to Marshall.
Okay, we'll pass an interruption and let the...
No, I'm asking the maker of the motion. We have a motion on the floor. If they would accept it as a friendly amendment, or if I should...
No, I understand it. I was only referring to the fact that I had the floor. But...
Yes, you've had it for quite a while.
Dr. Stegeman?
Yes, this is a substantial issue, though, Ms. Burns.
I have to point out that this area can't be included because it hasn't been noticed.
You're referring to Ms. Burns, though?
Yes, yes. But the other areas could be included.
Well, I would like to do it all at one time, so
Why don't we resolve this?
May I suggest that we rather than run the risk of not being able to follow procedure on the boundary issue, so we bring that back as a separate item, and we will then do what we've got to do to notice and make sure that we're getting close.
And Dr. Stegman, I would like to do that in the near future because that's the closest area. I mean, it's literally, you can walk from the school to that area there. And if that can't be included, I don't know why it was never part of this huge packet.
Dr. Pentagon?
Sorry, again, do we have any comment on the boundary exercise that you went through and why this was...
Why it wasn't included?
Right.
It actually wasn't one of the ones that was brought up by Dunham as one of the options.
Really?
They really brought up these two areas as the primary ones. Oh, and the Marshall Annex area. So I'm not sure why they didn't include that, but that's why it wasn't included in the whole plan.
Well, I'll withdraw my amendment then, but I expect to see it, some input on it soon.
All right, well, then let me, I'll continue begging Ms. Burns' patience to articulate some of the arguments that I think go against staff's position incrementally. With all closures, and with the closures last year, there was a risk of losing students to charters and other schools. And of course, those students, depending on how you count, pull away $6,000 per student, it depends which budget lines you include. And this is an area where we have substantial competition from charters and at the middle school level. And we did lose some students in our closures last year, our elementary closures, and so of course it's impossible to project how many we might lose. But if we lost, say, and I'm not saying we would, but if we lost 20% of the Carson enrollment to charters, and maybe that's too high, then it's pretty easy to wipe out the projected annual savings. And so that's a concern that comes up with any closure, but especially because of the intensity of the competition and the distance of the other middle schools, I think is a particular concern here. There are a couple of process issues that come in here. The first is, and this we knew from the beginning, the speed of the process. We knew that back in January when we started it.